So the Union Budget 26-27, it places MSMEs firmly at the heart of India's growth story. And therefore, because there's a strong focus on accelerating manufacturing through enhanced access to credit, dedicated growth funds and structural reforms aimed at creating champion enterprises.
Indeed, Sumit, with funding commitment over 30,000 crore rupees across key programs supporting manufacturing, supporting export and technology upgradation, intent is clear, but the big question still remains, will these measures truly kickstart MSME manufacturing at scale? To help us decode this and explore what lies ahead for India's MSME ecosystem, I would like to invite Chandrakant Salunkhe, President, SME Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Tilak Raj Bajalia, who's a member of Board of Trustees, India SME Forum, and Vijay Mani, partner, Deloitte India, to join us on the stage for this panel discussion, again moderated by my co-anchor, Sumit. Mr. Tilak is not in today, but we have two distinguished gentlemen joining Sumit on the stage. Over to you, Sumit.
Yeah, unfortunately, Mr. Tilak's gotten stuck in traffic, which is, I mean, we are all here from Mumbai. We know how that works here. Mr. Salunkhe, Mr. Mani, thank you so much for your time. Mr. Salunkhe, President of SME Chamber of India. I just want to start off with you because the budget has been very it's kept MSMEs in focus. Wanting to first just get your opening thoughts on the budget for MSMEs. What is your key takeaways?
First of all, thank you ETNow for inviting to share my thoughts, particularly India Investment Summit. If you look at the growth of Indian economy and industrial growth, especially contributed by the SME sector. But looking at this budget, I'm not happy with the budget, with the finance minister for providing only 12,000 crore rupees only for the fundraise. But there are many champions in the small, micro, tiny industries. They are looking value addition, support, and particularly the level playing field when they are putting efforts for the growth of Indian economy. See, usually looking at the the process of this budget, I was there. I had given a lot of inputs to the Honorable Finance Minister. If we look at particularly expansion of manufacturing activity in tier 2, tier cities, this is a very difficult to run the industry because the banking sector is only the source for the financial fuel, and others financial fuels are very costly. So therefore, I suggested the government particularly to provide more incentives, more value addition services, particularly for the SME entrepreneurs. Those are putting efforts for employment generation, industrial output, and export promotion. So therefore, this budget is not so beneficial to the micro, tiny, and small industries. Particularly, they are looking for and they're expecting from the government if we have to march towards Viksit Bharat.
Absolutely, and it's important to always promote entrepreneurship, to get people, like we've always been hearing about the fact, to get people to make jobs rather than be in jobs. Mr. Mani, I just want to come to you on your the space that you're the expert in, which is on the credit space. Looking at the current scenario and more like an opening comment, just would want to get your thoughts on where do you see the credit availability for SMEs, MSMEs? What more can be done? What is some maybe thoughts that you have that could help boost this sector more?
Yeah, I think when you look at the overall picture, you see a tremendous scope for improvement, and I can understand Mr. Salunkhe's frustration. There are about 75 million MSMEs registered under Udyam, and a bulk of them are micro enterprises. when you look at the number of enterprises registered for GST, there are about 15 million enterprises. But when you look at the MSMEs that actually get access to formal credit through the banking system, it's a small fraction. Forget about 75 million. It's a small fraction of that 15 million as well. To be fair to the government, a lot has been done. I think the CGT MSc program is a good program. It's been running for more than 25 years. However, I think the uptake of the credit guarantees is a small fraction of the overall contribution of MSMEs through the GDP. And just to give you a sense of the numbers, the total MSME contribution to GDP is about over 100 lakh crore. And when you look at the cumulative guarantees under CGT MSc, it's in single-digit percentages of the contribution to GDP. So I think while a lot of good things have been done, the TREADS program is another good example. But I think more needs to be done to drive credit directly to micro enterprises. And there are a number of things that we can talk about, ways to do that.
Okay, we'll come back to that in a bit because it is important to drive that credit, let it be easily available to the MSMEs to just help them boost their business. Mr. Salunkhe, Mr. Mani also spoke about TREADS. So I just want to talk to you about, the thought of linking GM with TREADS and securitizing the receivables. It's being seen as a breakthrough for MSME liquidity. How do you expect this? How are you seeing this to genuinely improve cash flows? Because the cash and the credit is one of the most important pillars for MSMEs to stand on and expand or even carry on the business.
See, first of all, government and even finance ministers not understand that trades is made compulsory for last 5 years. Every budget they are emphasizing the trade. It is a compulsory for every corporate, every PSUs. The trades is built up and advocated by us, by me particularly. When Mr. Raghuram Rajan was the governor of RBI, I said either you change the NPA norms or bring some platform where our MSME sector will get receivables on time. Particularly, if you look at the corporate level, most of the corporate or buyers particularly, what they do, they deal with the entrepreneurs or enterprises that if you will not put a condition that we have to list on a trades, we will not buy from you. So therefore, many entrepreneurs, they have to accept because we want to do business. Business nahi milega to company kaisi chalegi. So they want to have a business. So therefore, they accept some terms, conditions there. But now, since the government, particularly finance minister, has announced from the trades, let us see next 3 months how many corporates, how many multinational companies, even medium-sized industries coming on trades, encouraging MSMEs not to avoid the listing on there, but to take advantage of this facility. I'm sure most of the MSME will not become NPA. The cash flow will be there, and definitely the GEM portal is beneficial, particularly for those are looking to support or supply to large corporate, even the corporations and government agencies. So let's see how the trades is going to be work and how the government is insisting from railway to their all PSUs to take advantage of the trades.
Okay, thank you for that. Mr. Mani, I want to talk to you about one angle of credit because there is a lot of NBFCs that have started offering credit to MSMEs, business loans as they say. Do you see, besides banks, obviously, banks, large organizations are there, but a lot of NBFCs on the smaller scales. Do you see that market kind of going in a good direction, or is there too much already? Is there too much saturation? Is there room for growth? How are you seeing what's happening on the ground? What's happening on the grassroots realities?
Yeah, so I think while NBFCs have done a lot when it comes to credit products for MSMEs, there are a few inherent challenges. One is it's a very manual model. So it's very much dependent on a sales force going out there and a lot of information collected manually a lot is dependent on the ability of that salesperson to collect the right information, relay it back to credit officers, and then credit officers exercising the judgment, which really slows down the process and also denies credit to a large number of people. So I don't think it's a very efficient model. There is a tremendous need to infuse technology and create public infrastructure where information can be collected and not just reliant on the information collected on the field, but information that is publicly available. For instance, all these MSMEs consume utilities. If that information can be available, it can be a useful input into underwriting. For instance, if an MSME claims that the turnover is increasing, is the utility consumption also increasing at the same time, right? That will make the credit underwriting process more effective. Inventory data, if that inventory data is on chain, can that be available publicly? I think there's a tremendous need for initiatives to create infrastructure to collect data, and that will make the model much more effective. One other big issue is attrition of the sales force. I mean, a lot of NBFCs have high levels of attrition of these salespeople. And that also affects the dissemination of credit. So I think the NBFC model is very good. They have an important role to play. But I think a few things need to be done. One is data, which I talked about. Also, I think co-lending needs a bigger push. More standardization of APIs, more standardization of underwriting practices can make the collaboration between NBFCs and banks much more effective, and co-lending to really be a big driver. I mean, the credit guarantee scheme for co-lending has seen very poor uptake, right? That's another opportunity which can really improve existing models of credit dissemination.
Okay, great. Mr. Salunkhe, I just want to take that ahead to you. You shared your thoughts on the budget, but there are some other parts of the budget also that, for example, they saw the FM unveil the Biopharma Shakti initiative, allocation of 10,000 crore over 5 years. There have been other sectors. They spoke about setting up those content creation labs, which they're hoping will provide employment, entrepreneurship opportunities, content creation. Do you see these new age sectors blossoming to help more and more MSMEs set up shop in new age sectors, whether it's these, whether it's renewable energy, semiconductors? Do you see more and more movement there by way of MSMEs setting up shop?
See, they have announced this in budget, particularly how they are going to present the subsidy, grant, or value addition, the support for enhancement of the activity. But look at the, some MSME sector. Forget about micro and tiny, but small enterprises, they don't have a capacity to set up their own, the testing lab, or particularly in-house some innovation type system, or a value addition system for improvement of the product or design. But let's see how the government has, playing, because, we are working very closely with the DPIIT, and we are trying to support the entrepreneurs, particularly those are into manufacturing industry, for global competitiveness. And, insisting them and encouraging them to acquire advanced technology to enhance their productivity, quality improvement, global competitiveness, so that they can, survive in competitive market. Now, another point I have suggested the FM that last budget they have announced 10 industrial park. But that 10 industrial park, what is the progress? That not yet confirmed. Even I have suggested the Honorable Finance Minister to allow and encourage the state governments to set up private industrial park, ready-made industrial park, ready-made industrial units in each district. At least 500 units will be set up by the government, particularly in a private sector, with the private sector, or a JV or a SPV, so that local entrepreneurs can set up their manufacturing unit. They don't want to go from the rural area to the town. But somehow government is focusing on, but we are looking for more value addition, more support from the government, because we want to become the economically number one country in the world. We are looking at the making India as a manufacturing hub of the world. But for that purpose, government should come ahead with the more incentives, value addition services, grants, subsidies, and more on a development in policies. Because you look at the policies, implementation is very slow, framework is not changing, but we are doing advocacy, we are pursuing with the government, and one day definitely will succeed. Look at the, the opportunity for the MSMEs, those are into manufacturing industry, those are in service sector, to list on SME stock exchange. You have a collateral fee loan up to 100 crores to buy a advanced machinery equipments. In that 50 crore you can use for a project improvement. I am insisting from the banks to provide the 100% loan for setting up manufacturing unit. So let's see, the government is now pursuing, and support will be definitely to MSME sector. Then only we can march towards Viksit Bharat.
Yeah, definitely. It is, because obviously the MSMEs play a vital, crucial role. They're the backbone of the economy. Mr. Mani, today was the monetary policy came out, and it was obviously the last one in this financial year. The governors kept the repo rate unchanged at 5.25. Do you think a change of rate would have helped MSMEs, or do you feel that, obviously the RBI governor has given his reasoning behind it, and the committees, councils also shared their thoughts?
Yeah, I think certainly the credit cost for MSMEs need to come down, but I think the biggest reason the credit cost is high is not because of the repo rate. It's because the risk premium is too high and the operating costs are too high. I think more work needs to be done to fix that. Also, I think while there is a lot of attention on working capital limits and term loans, I think more needs to be done for the simple, humble invoice discounting product. And while TREDS has done a lot to do that, I think we need to figure out a way in which the penetration of invoice discounting can grow by exponentially more than what it is right now. Because if you have the right data, the risk profile of the invoice discounting product is much more amenable to bringing down the cost of credit than alternatives like working capital. It's possible to bring the cost of working capital below 15% if we really focus on data and other ways of increasing the penetration of invoice discounting.
Okay. Mr. Salunkhe, we are here today at the ETNow India Investment Summit. Let's say you and I are having a conversation in the next 3 years at the 2029 edition of the India Investment Summit. What would you wish that you and I would be talking about the MSME space at that time?
Enhancement of manufacturing activity in each district. Second thing, financial flow from banking sector for less than 7% at the rate of interest. Third, level playing field for getting licenses, permissions in each district. Most importantly, market, because government has started finding new market when Trump uncle started imposing the more tariff and more rates on the India particularly, so that government become alert to find out new markets. If this was done earlier, so we will achieve our target. Another very interesting point, startups are not entering into manufacturing sector. We have to encourage, we have to support the startups to start manufacturing unit. See, starting manufacturing unit is not an easy task, but we have to start. Then only we can, compete with the China, Japan, Germany or Korea. Currently, our entrepreneurs are not entering into manufacturing. That is the main reason for market, manpower and money. These are the 3 hurdles are there. So therefore, I suggest all the friends sitting here, if you can encourage your new generation, your friends, your brother, sister, to start manufacturing, not single way, but at least make a group of entrepreneurs and start. Banks are providing up to 10 crore for the SME loan, collateral fee loan. 20 crore you are getting for from the startups, and 100 crore for buying equipments, and particularly for capital markets and also exports purpose. So take advantage, empower your industry, empower your enterprises, so that next 3 years when we are sitting here, we can talk about contribution of MSME sector for making India as a manufacturing hub.
Fantastic. Mr. Mani, same question to you. 3 years from now, if you and us are at the 2029 edition of the India Investment Summit, what would you hope that we would be talking about?
I hope we would be talking about how the SME contribution to GDP has increased significantly from what it is today, and much closer to the 50% aspirational goal that we have. So hopefully we would be halfway through that.
All right,
And
fantastic.
also,
Yes.
also you can focus, and you can also prepare India Investment Summit for SMEs into 2029.
All right, we will take that thought back, and we won't wait till 2029 for the India Investment Summit for MSMEs. We will take that back right to the team right now. Thank you so much, Mr. Salunkhe. Thank you, Mr. Mani, for your time.
Thank you,
for
thank
that
you,
insightful
ETNow.
discussion.
Let's hope we see the India Investment Summit for MSMEs sooner than 2029, as Sumit mentioned. Sumit, may I request you to present the panelists with a token of our appreciation, and thank you so much for such wonderful insights. A huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Well, turning now a photo opportunity.